clear after you find something out, let somebody know.
Oh, well, I'll call you then.
Or text
Yeah,
or whatever or something.
Okay, Mark.
I'll call, make
All right.
things up.
We'll call the meeting to order. For public information, a copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of this meeting room on the east wall, if anyone needs to read that. Let's stand, or no, let's do roll call first.
Harris,
Here.
Knapper,
Here.
Meyer,
Here.
Reisig,
Here.
Blue.
Here.
I didn't
Stand-
ask anybody if they shut off the
Oh, I
phone.
shut mine off. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we need to approve the agenda, and the agenda is simply review budget things.
I move that we approve the agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Blue,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Knapper,
Yes.
Reisig,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes. Okay, Lisa is gonna be right back, but I think she told us that she didn't have any particular agenda as to who should be first. Just because of our discussion out in the hallway a few minutes ago, thinking about Judge Miller having to drive to Hemingford, I just suggested to her that maybe we should have the district judge budget maybe first. And, but other than that, you guys are gonna have to kind of work it out, I think, amongst yourselves, who's gonna go next. But maybe we can, and several of these are fairly short. I don't anticipate they'll take too long. But, yeah, we appreciate you all being here. So Lisa, are you okay if we did the district judges first? Sure. Yeah, you got that up? So, I don't know how you're gonna come up and whether you stand or sit up here, however you guys wanna do it, or one of you or whatever, but feel free to come on up. Technically, we're recording this, session, so that microphone is there. but-
All right. Okay, do you want me to proceed or? do you have
Yeah,
a
why don't
format?
you tell us about your budget? We have copies of it here.
Okay, great. Okay, well, the first thing I want to say is, interestingly enough, this gave us an opportunity to come back and look at this proposal and look at some of the things that we've got on here and have we used this, have we not used it? And so we had a conference this afternoon and we did go through several of these line items. And I'll just run through those quickly if that's a good way to do it. And we started on 20100, which is postal or postal services. We don't have much in the way of expenditures there for several years. However, we did think we should keep some money in that particular item. And this was a bit of a mystery to us, and I apologize for that. I've been there longer than anybody. If anybody should understand this, it'd be me. But I'll beg off and say Judge Lipstrew always did the budget while he was here, and much better brain than I. But in any event, we seem to have credit on a postage machine in the county attorney's office, and that's what we work off of. At some point, we believe a fair amount of credit was put on that postal machine from the county, and we haven't exhausted that yet. If we did exhaust it, and I think it's sitting at $478.00 right now, if we got past that, which it doesn't look like we're going to anytime soon, then we'd make a claim for that. But we felt we probably ought to leave a little something in that line item. The phone has changed over the years, and we don't see any reason to leave any phone expense in there anymore, because we haven't actually, at one time when we set up conference lines, we did have some billing for that, but I think that's been absorbed maybe in the Darla's budget, I'm not sure. We haven't had any actual phone expenditures for several years. Yeah, so take that 1,000 out. The office equipment repair, again, we haven't had expenses there for quite some time. The office equipment that we've got in the district judges is fairly new. It's, I think it's under a lease contract, I'm not sure. No, a purchase, okay. It's been doing okay, but again, I would hesitate not to have anything in that budget in case we did need a repair. But then subscriptions, that's more interesting because the research capabilities of these search engines and the things the state is continuing to supply us with have really eliminated the need for some of the hard books that we have. Right now, we have a package we buy from Thomson Reuters Publishing Company. I think they bought out West Publishing. They still use a lot of their type of reference materials. But we've got a couple of sets of books there that we really hardly ever get into. We're going to look in to see if we can take those out of our package and get some savings that way. We do have about 4 or 5 books that are they're updated every year. They're very valuable resources for us. Some of the old types of research is just simply it's shifted over to the internet. And the state supplies us with really high quality research engines for most of that research.
So you saying we need to leave 10 in there then for now?
I would like you to leave 10 in there for now, but this year we're going to look.
Next year.
We did a little bit of research today, but we'd have to talk to those companies and see if we can pull some of these books out of these packages and realize a cost savings. Because probably the biggest set we have, we just really barely use it all. Okay, appointed counsel, of course, that's our big item. It always is. We bumped that up 20,000 this year because we've still got those stabbing murder cases there. None of those are resolved yet. On at least one of those, we have a private counsel who's been appointed, and that most of our 23,000 is. You can probably say it's there if you want to, because we expect on some of those cases, we're going to have, on at least one, we'll have plenty of lawyer billing at the $100 an hour. And then on all of those cases, even if we have the Commission on Public Advocacy, we have expenses that, we don't have to pay those lawyers for their time, but they have travel expenses and they might hire expert witnesses and that kind of thing. So that's why we put another 20 in there. How those cases are going to wash out, we really don't have a good indication right now.
Did we increase the per hour on that? I know we talked about it either last year or the year before.
A couple of years ago, I don't remember.
Has it been that long? All right.
It's been a
I knew
while.
there was a discussion about it, but,
It sat at 70 for a long, long time.
right, okay,
And then
Okay.
we, did a kind of a statewide poll and
thank you.
had to get a little more competitive. So anyway, that's really where a bunch of it is. On 2-2502, the part-time bailiff, we figured that could go down to 2250 where it was before. We really haven't used that much, just the way most of our bailiffs have worked. They don't take huge chunks of time off. But I think we should have something there just in case something comes up. Tina gets sick, one of her boys gets sick, or she's got to be gone for a while.
You're gonna cut that to 22.
2250 is what we were thinking, because that's a number we had used in the past.
Did you change that, Lisa?
And then we looked to get district court costs 2-2601. I wasn't sure what that was. Okay, well,
It
We
looked
haven't-
like you used any of it ever, so that could go away.
we haven't had that for, I think, several
Several years.
years. Yeah, and we had some expense back in, looks like 2021, a little bit in 21, 22, but
Maybe you have the same expense and are paying it out of another.
right, it could very well be, but I'm not real sure what we had allocated to that previously. So that, I guess, as far as we're concerned, that would be a research item anyway to see.
Well, you were 40,000 under budget last year, so some of that stuff could go away.
Yeah, the lawyer fees are always kind of a crapshoot.
So we can adjust budgets at the end of the year. So
Sure.
that's not-
Right. Okay, and let's see,
What do we decide on that 3,000
Gonna
then?
take it out?
I'm just not real sure what it is. We haven't obviously
Well-
spent out of that for
The fact
several
is,
years.
you're still 40,000 under, almost 50,000 under budget there, so. You, 33,000 isn't gonna change much, I mean,
Mhm.
if we can use it somewhere else, I'm telling you, we're short on cash.
Right, well, a dollar's a dollar, so,
It is.
yeah. But maybe, I don't know, if we can see what we spent out of that previously, then I think we'd know if, those costs we don't have anymore, or those costs that have been put into another line item someplace, so. Anyway, I mean, so. I guess as you discover what that is, you can let us know.
Oh, you want me to research it?
Well, we don't have any way to research it that I know, by which I can tell you. Yeah, that is what we'd prefer. Let's see. And then we didn't really find anything else from our point of view that we thought was anything we could take out. Office supplies, they kind of go up and down depending on what we have to order when. Those numbers have fluctuated some from year to year. We think that's mostly just the timing of, we need to order, a bunch of envelopes. They don't always just land
See the
uniformly.
assessor for envelopes, he said he has a lifetime supply.
Oh, does he really?
The
Okay,
la- Yeah, he said the last assessor loaded a lot of.
okay. We can just stick
We have
labels on it
boxes
and we'll
and
be in good
boxes
shape.
downstairs. There were boxes and boxes.
There's cases in downstairs.
Okay. Yeah, and court reporter supplies 30129, those go up and down. The things they use are switching over a little bit. They're using USBs more to store information on. We haven't been buying a whole lot of those yet, but I think that's gonna have to change. So, but we felt we probably need to leave probably what's in there, 1,000. And then furniture, we don't have anything specific in mind, but,
They can go away then.
well, I don't know that we wanted it to go away. Furniture, we wanted to.
I'm sorry, we're looking for boxes.
No, and I know you are,
Capital
and
stuff
I
is
appreciate that,
inventory.
yeah.
We don't have a specific.
No, we don't have anything in our mind to buy new, probably more with possible repair or something like that, so. We do have our repair budget's fairly small if you're actually.
What's your bottom line number down to now, Lisa?
285, 367, which is 20,000 over last year.
Pretty much
Should
just that.
probably be like 9 or 10%.
So it's primarily the
Court counsel.
council.
Yeah,
Line
that's where 20,000 of the 23 is, if you want to look at it that way.
7%.
Yeah, we were at 8.7 and should have brought it down a little bit.
They're striving for 2.5% decrease over last year.
Yeah, and my math said I'd have to cut out $16,512.90 to get to the 2.5. Not there yet. Anyway. But if we can figure out the district court costs, that's certainly a possibility. And, typically, there's been a reduction in the adopted budget with what our appointed counsel is. We're not,
You've always been over budget.
yes, we
And I
have.
understand you've got a big case this year.
Well, we might. It's really hard to say, so.
Been over budget, meaning they over budgeted.
Well,
But they
I
didn't-
mean, not over budget, just that 160,000 last year.
Right.
Prior year, 150, even at 148, that was right.
Mhm.
Which is good.
175,
Charlie,
that's
Mhm.
why do we never use this actual? How come that actual never enters into what we're?
Is it safe to say that generally the actual is less than budgeted from the
It
prior
is,
year?
and that's why I'm saying, why do we never use that number for a basis?
The
Why are we not building off of that number instead of last year's number?
big variable here is the council,
Right.
not the council
if we took that number there and put 20,000 on it, we'd be way within line of being able to keep the rest of the stuff going. If you took his actual and gave him 20,000 on actual, or even 30,000 on actual, we'd still be below budget, we'd be rolling. I just don't see why we're not building off of actual expenses.
Well,
This is
I
pie, in the-
certainly-
this is pie in the sky over here. This is what it really costs to do business. Why don't we take what it really costs to do business and put, if he needs 20,000 more this year or 25, let him have it, because it'd still be lower in his budget. And we'd be where we ought to be. But then we always build a reserve that way. All this extra goes into the end of the year stuff to pay the bills next year. Why aren't we worried about paying them this year?
they don't carry money over, right?
No, it's.
Yes, you do.
They don't.
No, but Lisa does.
It all goes back.
Lisa
yeah.
does. It all goes back
Into-
into
into the
carried
general
forward, but
fund.
if we utilize the money we had instead of fudging all these numbers up and utilize the money so we could take some of that to the next,
Well,
and the next and the next.
I understand what you're saying, and
Some of the
if we
justice,
I
do
could
that
run
with
my-
everybody, then
I'm
I
good with
think
that.
we can
I'm good with that.
take a serious look at that, but
That's what we need to look at.
I
What it
think,
costs to do business. This is what it costs to do business right here.
the dynamism in the criminal stuff is, it's based on behavior of the community, which we have no control over.
Right.
Dave doesn't have control over it. He probably wishes he did. Mike doesn't have any control over it.
yeah,
we're not
all you
trying to beat
guys
that.
here.
Yeah.
We're not trying to beat you up, but if
No,
you took your
no, I
actual
understand.
numbers, what you did, what you spent last year,
Mhm.
and you need 20,000, 30,000 more this year, I don't have a problem with that.
Sure.
But when we take pie in the sky over here, and then we add 20 or 30,000, I got a problem with that.
Right.
I can't run my business that way.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Well-
it'd be a lot nicer if we could work it to where, we've got
The bottom
12 other
line,
offices, we gotta have money.
he was 289 in 22-23 budgeted, 263 in 23-24, 265 in 24-25 budget.
But now go back through all the actions.
I know.
You
And
take what
they
it
did
costs,
really good last year and
yeah,
wholly in line,
They
and
did.
of course, the big line item there is the council.
Right. Because your council fees were down over 20,000 last year.
Right. What you're saying is you have those two murder cases that are definitely gonna be coming in this next year.
I wish I could tell you definitely, but they should be, because it's been long enough, and there's actually, I think, 4 cases. Right.
Okay.
And some of those are expense only, and in at least one of them, we do have an attorney who's actually been appointed, so, just because of the number of defendants. I think it is. Yep,
not even actual, we can-
correct. Yeah. Maybe some expenses, but those would probably go through Mike's budget.
I think
Like if
everything
you hired
needs to
an
be
expert
reset.
person.
It's just kinda like my phone every once in a while. My phone quits working, I hit the reset button, it starts over and starts right at the bottom line, and then we build from there. I think this needs to do the same thing.
So you said at this point, you're at 285, 367?
Yeah, from what we just discussed, yeah.
Right. I guess the only thing I'm concerned about is the council line item.
Mhm, Sure.
And we're all taking a
Mhm.
gamble as to what is it actually gonna end up being.
Sure. And
And we don't know, nobody knows.
yeah, what we feel comfortable with removing, we've told you. I fully expect you to make up the rest of it in appointed council, because that's really what you have to work with. It's not gonna upset us any, it's just that
Well,
if we go over, we go over.
yeah,
but
then
hopefully we
And
don't.
it's a
we're gonna
total
have to
unknown.
make it
You have
up
no
at the
idea.
end. All right. I'd
Not,
be,
not down to a very
Yeah,
small
no,
Right.
percentage,
really
no.
don't. That's the-
and it's not like you take it, carry it over, or use it for something else. If it
Mhm.
doesn't get used, it doesn't get used, it goes back in the overall pot and.
Right.
For general and.
Yeah.
I'm okay with leaving that in there. Again, when we talk about percentages, we're over, but on some of these we had on Monday, you know, the overall budget's small enough that when percentages are higher than what we want, but actual dollars are pretty minimal compared to,
Sure.
you know, I have a list of the 5 big ones and 1% in those are a big deal.
Right.
But here, dollars are, and if it's really, that council line item, which obviously it is, then it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Mhm. Yeah.
More. All of this is, tax asking money, right? Isn't it? Well, you know, we haven't made any, firm decisions on any of these. I don't know that, I don't know that I'm ready to do what Russ is suggesting, all of a sudden, starting today, that we do that. I'm not sure of that, but we may have to, we're gonna, in simple terms, last year's tax asking was about 14.8 million. 14.1. We can go up to about 14.8 without getting ourselves in major trouble. But we were at, when we started this process, about 17.9 or even 18 million. And so we're looking at, we gotta cut, somewhere, and, even state statutes only gonna allow us to go so far. And that's probably somewhere in the $15 million range without getting ourselves in real trouble with the state. So, we haven't specifically cut those other ones yet, but they know they're teeter-tottering on a maybe needing to be cut, and to me, that's kind of where we are here.
Sure.
But the fortunate part about yours is that it's, if it gets cut out of that line, then we all know that we'll have to make it up at the end
Mhm.
if push comes to shove.
Sure.
So,
And some of those department heads or elected officials have decided to cut their own budget, you know, taking things out,
Mhm.
knowing that we're, again, starting out in the hole like we do every
Right.
year.
Sure.
So they were very good about all
Mhm.
that.
right. And I know you've, again, this is pretty tight.
Mhm.
So you have one employee that we're paying out of.
Right.
this.
Right. Our employee expense is based on one person. That's the bailiff.
Right,
Who works with both Judge Miller and I. So.
right. All right. Well, to me, I think we can, if it's all right with you guys, I think we can leave it at that for now, and then if we get down to the bottom line of tomorrow, we think we're gonna be coming down to kind of the nitty-gritty, we'll figure out where we're at.
Sure.
But I mean, it's simple enough to cut it out of that line if we have to, and then being prepared to
Right.
put some back in.
Sure. Yeah, and
All
if we figure out what those district court cost expenditures were in the past, we can give you some input about whether they even exist anymore or whether they're being accounted for. So
Okay.
if you're
That
able to
could help
research
us
that.
out.
that's another possible 3,000 if
That
it's
would be
something we're just.
So we got a couple targets that we can go after if we need
Mhm.
to, right?
Right, yeah.
All right,
Okay, thank you.
thanks, appreciate it.
Thanks, Ed.
Did you guys decide who's next?
I think Diane should.
Fairly short,
She just turned me in reductions
okay?
and put her well before, well over the last year.
Yeah, my budget's pretty basic, I guess, really, cause it's only operating expenses, so. And I did talk with Lisa on the phone earlier, and we did make some cuts in several areas. Do they have all those, or?
I think I gave
Yeah,
that.
we-
Yeah, okay.
For instance, like her attorney fees, she had 560, but last year came in at 536, so she went to 537.
Yeah. Yeah, court costs, I cut that back to 12,000 from 15,000. Our office supplies, I had requested 14,000, but I cut that back to 12,000. I did have asked for about 3,000 in the furniture budget, but I did cut that in half. I mean, I don't anticipate a need for any furniture, but you know, once in a while, just a chair breaks or something and you need to replace it. But I mean, if worst came to worst, I could probably eliminate that other 1,500 too. I don't anticipate buying any furniture. The only other area I'm looking at that maybe I think we could do a little better with is under postal services. And I'm gonna work with staff on that because I think that there might be a lot of mailings that are going out that we have email addresses, so you wouldn't have to do paper mailings. So I think maybe we could make some reductions there. Cause last year we spent about $12,119 on postage. So that's one area I'm gonna work with staff on to try to reduce that. I don't know how much we can do, but I think we could cut some money off there. I don't know, maybe we could cut that by about $3,000 and see, and I'll,
So as of right now, it looks like, that bottom line what she actually did last year was 585,000, and she's saying 585 for this year, is that right?
I'm at 582 right now with that.
With that change, so it's actually less.
and then
Appreciate
there
your
again,
work.
the money that's allocated for the attorney fees, you know, if that's not used, we wouldn't spend that for we wouldn't spend that for anything else, you know, I mean, so
Right.
that's
Gets
kind of,
turned
There,
back.
but there again, that's an unknown. You
Yeah,
don't, you don't have
yeah.
any idea what you're gonna
Mhm.
need.
Same
So what are your
situation.
Just a, yeah, just a guess.
I'm sorry, I mean, you have 12,000, we were just talking about this.
okay, a lot of that is, on cases where we have court-appointed counsel, and let's say, for instance, an appeal is filed or something, it's paying for those types of expenses on, not public defender cases, but like where we have a court-appointed attorney, we'll put the claim in from our budget for, like when the record has to be prepared, like a transcript, verbatim, that type of stuff. That's what that line item covers.
Is it, 'cause yeah, it went down substantially, I've seen 21,000, 27,000.
Yeah, it's a lot less, and same thing, our witness fee budget went down this year. There again, that stuff's all kind of unpredictable because you don't know how many cases are gonna be filed. Witness fees, a lot of it depends on how many cases actually go to trial, that kind of stuff, so.
That's what I was asking. Maybe that would help us figure out what additional if they're similar.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that is the same for them or not. yeah.
Know if we changed our technology to go from 27,000 down to 12?
Yeah, and well, and a lot of our, computer equipment is provided by the state. So that kind of helps in that area, yeah.
Well, bottom line is, it's equal to the actual expenditures, and it's less than what was budgeted last time. Okay. Know that we can ask for a whole lot more than that.
Nope.
We appreciate your work on it.
Yeah, I mean,
Hold the line.
we try to do our best not to waste money, you know.
Sure. All right. Does anyone have any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate
great,
it.
Thank
You
you.
bet.
And I just talked about, I visited, Scotts Bluff Education Center. They have plethora of office chairs. That's just one picture. If there's people needing office chairs, Jay and I were talking, I put a bid in for $25 a chair to maybe replace all these brown ones. $25. And in the media room in the basement. Exactly, that too. If we're looking at stuff, we can get them,
Okay,
cheap for
yeah.
$25. Pretty good deal.
Those brown chairs.
And they see.
Okay, thanks. Who's next? Darla, yours small probably?
Oh, shoot.
Okay, so, mine is, my actual expenses are only like $2,500 in addition to what my budget was last year. The majority of my stuff, my increase is in the salary piece of it, my employees. And then this year I gave you guys a realistic revenue or statement, and it is down, as you can see, quite a bit of money. So, I mean, I think that's kind of where my percentages may have gotten off a little bit.
Okay, but your expenses, I'm seeing you budgeted last year $397 and we're at $420. What number were you just saying? And then $350.
The requested budget?
I have $420,261.
That's what I've
And
got.
last year you budgeted, we finished on $397, and I thought you just
Yeah.
said it only went down, it went down.
Well, no, I like it averages out to that. So let's just go the 2-0100. I asked for 5,200. I'm gonna take that back down to 4,000. That's my postal service. We still are required to mail out quite a few things. But we have gone more, pro self-represented litigant in the state, so we are now required to ask for email addresses. If we get those, that's how parties are getting their documents instead of through the post office. So I think I can knock that down to 4,000, which is just right at what I spent this last year. Telephone service, so I pick up all the telephone service for the floor, I believe. And I mean, we could knock that down another $50 to $400. I don't know. I mean, it's $50, but. The data processing costs, I asked 225. I didn't spend it. It says a 0 last year, but I actually did. I just put it in a different line item. So, and then on the travel expenses, I asked for 2,500. Let's put that at 1,000 because I added 1,000 onto travel or onto mileage, excuse me.
Why the difference, Darla? Your actual expenditures are 437 in travel.
On travel.
Yeah.
So I split the cost with the assessor for the NACO meeting.
There you go.
So, and mileage, we only had, he claimed it last year because we both went. I probably will do it this year. It kind of helps that out. The one thing is I went to a National Association for Court Managers Conference in Omaha this last month. The association reimbursed me $700, which I paid out of my budget and was reimbursed for. So that's like a net, but it still will reflect, I guess, which I don't like, just to say.
But she
out loud,
wanted to
I
put
don't
it
like
back in. She called me trying to figure out how to get back in.
Because I actually, it didn't cost the county anything, so I think it should go back
Should go
in.
back
The
in.
number should go back into my budget.
Yeah.
You can figure out how
But
to
it don't do
do
it.
that. She
Yeah.
can't handle money.
I remember
That's
that
not the county way.
in the first NACO meeting I ever went to, and that's that money goes out, it don't go back in your budget. It goes back into general funds. And that's for everybody. So,
It operates with the general fund.
I happened to learn that at the first training thing I went to.
Yeah, so when I'm over this next year, $700, we'll know why.
We'll know where that
Yeah.
700
Darla, I
is.
thought
Yeah.
I was gonna be in that situation too with the school bond, because all of that election came out of the county's money.
Mhm.
Then we bill them and it goes back to general.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no,
but
and
you have a very good reason to present to them, is
Right,
what I was.
and I
telling
don't, I don't actually want the money in, I just want it accounted for that I didn't spend it, is a net
them. Right.
on that. So,
Unless you can get them to pay first. You know, the association, but that probably doesn't go that way.
it didn't go that way this time. We had to invite ourselves to this conference, which we're glad we did go, the district court clerks, but it was so expensive that only a handful of us went. So I don't know that we'll go next year. It was the national conference here in Nebraska. So next year it'll be elsewhere, and I don't know if Diane will be going next year or not. The state pays hers, yep. So, travel is always up in the air. And of course, we all know everything happens on the east side of the state. So, I'm part of several committees and am only one on several of those committees this side of Grand Island. So, I've attended many of the stuff by Zoom, but some of them I have to travel to, so. I mean, that's just, it's a guess, I guess. Dues, subscriptions, and registrations, I increased that. Is it that one? No, well, I increased it $150, because I also have, the association fee for the $150 that we had to pay to go to this conference. So that's what the increase was on that one. Printing and publishing. So this, I put in $1 this time, or I should put in $1 this time instead of the $250 because I didn't use it last time.
I'm sorry, which one?
The printing, the
Okay,
2-2000,
and you were wanting to do what?
just put it at $1
What?
or take it all out. I didn't use it, and what I need to have printed this year will come out of my jury budget because I have jury stuff that have to get printed. Take it all out. Court reportings, so that is when we have a, informa pauperis, situation where we have to pay for the court reportings. Generally, it is when it's a protection order that, they're appealing, because we have to pay the county court recording for that. So it's not much. This year's the first year we incurred that. Well, in '23, it's the first year we incurred that, so, we didn't use it much this year, so that's why I asked for $150. Jury fees is the big one. Our protection order numbers are about half of our civil filings this year. People
How
can't
many
go
are
long.
fraudulent?
Good question, Charlie. And protection orders are filed in district court, but it can be handled in county court, by a county court judge. So if a protection order is heard by a county court judge and ruled upon and then appealed to the Court of Appeals, then because it's a district court case, it doesn't come to us, it goes to the Court of Appeals. That's when we would pay those recording fees. Because there are no fees charged to the litigants in a protection order per statute. And they are literally half of my civil filings this year. It's kind of out of control. Witness fees, I didn't use any last year. I don't know if I will use it this year. Again, that would be for protection orders from forma pauperis. So I don't know if we can knock it down to $250. I'd hate to put 0 in there. Then maintenance agreement, I believe that's for our printers that we have. And we didn't have, I put it in a different line item when
Where you at, Darla?
Yeah, you jumped.
oh, I'm sorry, what one did I miss?
I'm concerned on the jury fees.
Oh, you're still on jury fees? Okay.
43 to 75,000.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that's the,
So jury fees
We don't know.
includes everything for a jury. That's paying their attendance fees for district court and county court. So I'm jury commissioner over both. So I am responsible for paying all of those costs for juries in both county court and district court.
Are you anticipating something for that increase from 43 to 75?
Well, 75 has kind of remained up there. It used to be 90 was the budget about 5 years ago, and we've taken it down. But we have those murder trials that I don't know. In the end, we have to pay jury costs. You can take some money out of there. That's fine.
And I'm not looking to cut it, Dara. I'm just,
Yeah,
I'm just asking from
it's dynamic
from
year to
43
year.
to 75. Is there some reason for that increase? That's all.
Well, it went from 63 to 43 because we settled out a bunch of cases last year and they didn't go to trial. We didn't have near the volume of jury trials that we had. So on Monday, we had a jury trial that the gentleman took a plea after we had all of the jurors in the courtroom. So they will still get paid for that day, even though we didn't have a jury trial. That happens, okay? And jury, the cost for a day for a jury is dynamic because it depends on how many jurors we have, the mileage we pay for the juror, and that only jurors who live outside during city limits get mileage. And then, if we pay for lunches or we have witness fees. So those things all contribute to the cost of a jury trial.
My guess is it's the same as the council, and that's it. You don't have any idea what it's gonna be.
That piece is completely out of my control. I will tell you that for district court, I attempt to qualify about 65 people every 3 months. For county court, we send out 100 summons every 3 months. So to qualify 65 in district court, I send about between 200 and 250 summons every 3 months. So that, number, the mailings is included in that.
Not in postal.
Not in postal, it is in jury. So I have a separate account for jury, on the postal side. And anything I print for jury is on that budget. The judge's courtroom upgrades, in Judge Dobraboni's courtroom last year, that went into my jury budget because we replaced the jury box chairs. Yes,
So that come out of your jury
yes,
and not office supplies or anything?
right.
Okay.
So that number, it's dynamic. I don't know how to forecast it. Because it really depends on Dave's office, on the jury, for the most part. We do have civil trials, also civil jury trials, not many per year, and that's private counsel generally. 98% are criminal trials.
Yeah.
But the jury
and again,
fees are the same for you.
The jury fees are the same.
Again, I'm not questioning the
Yeah.
number, I'm just questioning the increase, if there was something different that we need to know about.
No, it was just my asking from last year. I just
And that's fine, again,
brought it over.
you don't have any idea what it's gonna be,
I,
you had an actual from last year, and
yeah, and we're on track with last year.
But you're only a month into it here, or 2 months.
I'm fine with it, I
Right.
just didn't know why. it
Yeah,
took
I truly, I don't know
I understand.
on that one. I think you'd be safe taking it down to 60. I'd give you 15,000.
When you need it, you're gonna come back and ask.
Right, I will.
You wanna say that as a what if? Commissioners, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds good.
It's not a big deal.
So, I mean, that's pretty much it. And then I've got, data processing equipment. I did put in for my laptop overheats. So John suggested that it's time to upgrade my laptop. And when we do that, it'll be the only, I will work off of that exclusively. I right now have a small CPU on my desk and they would take that and give it to someone else. Is it necessary? It's, to me, when I travel, it is.
Most of the officials anymore, we have
Laptops.
laptops.
Yeah.
Included on our desks.
Mm.
It would be a portion of the cost for that.
So Bytes pays part of it, and then,
It's kind of usually split in half.
okay,
Yeah, the budget's.
And then I do need battery backups for my office for the CPUs. So when we have power outages, it's not frying our computers.
you don't lose your information.
Yeah, yeah. And those aren't high dollar.
We were talking about that last year on the trying to get everything protected.
Yes. Yeah, so even because even though we have the generator, it goes down and pulls back up, and it's not good on the equipment. So those aren't high dollar. They're about $150 a piece, but you multiply that by 5.
Lisa, are we protected, the other offices?
I mean, I have some on mine and.
Yeah. think Jean was talking about putting them on hers, Jean and
I
Heather.
think she already did. She did. She was able to use some.
You guys, you don't have battery backups, do you, Judge? Yes.
You might talk to
Yeah.
Jay, Judge, cause he was,
Yes.
I think he was trying to get those everywhere. I was trying to.
Who?
Jay? Was Jay doing that?
I mean, I found out my own budget.
Did you?
Yeah, we were told to get it.
All right, I thought Jay was handling.
We should bulk rate it. Shop in quantities. Cause I'll never get around to remembering to do it myself. I won't. But yeah, we do need them.
Yeah.
Especially in Gary.
Yes.
All right.
And then the next line item, office equipment. I don't know. I never know what's,
Printer.
yeah, well, there's the printer issue, right? So to pay off the copier that I have in our office, is $2,700, which is not figured into this. I currently lease it. Yep. So, and district court, the whole floor, we have one. One copier, printer copier, yes. That
Whole
everybody
floor
uses.
For everybody?
Everybody, the court reporters, the judges, staff, and my office. So, one, yep, and it works great. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying, we just have one. And so
But you're getting charged for it.
I pay for it.
You
mhm.
pay for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have since I got it a couple years ago. So that number might change. I mean, if we're gonna do if we buy it outright now, it's $2,700. If I continue to lease it,
It's like 1,400.
mhm,
1,700.
A year.
Probably under data processing.
Yeah.
Services, so it's like $1,000 different. Have to pay at least payment.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, if, it's just moving numbers, right? Yeah. And I have $1,000 in furniture budget just because chairs and other things, but you know, you can take it. I updated our office a year ago, so
Use it to pay off your copier. Seriously, I mean, that, if you're gonna end up leasing, that's gonna cost you more money than to pay it off.
Yeah.
Just pay it off, be done, then you own it.
and it's under the copier connection, that universal plan. So, and then the data processing software, that includes Adobe Pro, which I use all the time. And the other, we use MIPS for, a couple of uploads and, I have some other programs, but it's pretty constant at $500. I just put I added $250 because of inflation. Everybody says they're gonna increase prices, but I've yet to do so.
So we're gonna get down to revenue, and in your case, the revenue side of things is hurting you pretty bad in your budget.
Yes, so two factors. We get revenue from child support, so all of the paternity child support claims or cases that we handle. I do a report every quarter, and we get a part of a grant back. Those cases the numbers have gone down on those. The state hasn't filed the volume this year that they filed last year. So on my budget this time, I just gave you real numbers. I didn't project out because if I project out, then it's a win. What I gave you was just kind of
Based upon last.
based upon last year. Yeah, based upon like real numbers. So, and when we have, criminal cases that are dismissed at state's cost, those costs are not realized. So we don't collect those costs. When cases are filed in forma pauperis on the civil side, the county pays for those costs. We don't receive money, on those files.
I say it hurt you in your revenue side, which compared to what we budgeted previously to that, it hurt you, but technically from actual, not so bad.
Not too bad. Yeah. I will tell you that I've just pulled these, paternity child support cases where the state is involved, the county gets no money on those filings. When we collect, that all goes to the state,
Really.
okay? On a dissolution of marriage, the county receives $50 of the $164 for those filings. On a name change, the county receives $50 of the $89 it costs to get a name change. The state gets the remaining. And we had a question on this, but on a criminal case, the filing fee or the court costs are $137, $138, it depends, and the county does receive the majority of those fees. So, and I am completely, that is beyond my control. The judges and I have come to an agreement that if the party cannot pay their fees, they waive them, and I can get them off my books. Otherwise, I carry those amounts forward. I'm not a debt collector, and they hang out there.
So when you waive, that's what you charge the general fund? So that's, hits the county when she leaves. The judges waive, but I mean, whatever, it's still fees that come back to the county general fund.
Wasn't, a year or two ago, we talked about the state taking over
So,
some of your office or
yep.
something?
So it was LB 50 this year, and it failed, but it's the closest it's ever been.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Could happen, and.
So
your
we are
group
one
is
of
still
those
opposed to that?
I'm sorry,
Are you your group is still opposed to that?
the association is opposed to that. Yeah. Me personally, I am not.
Okay.
The reason is, I believe, it's personal thought, I believe the judiciary should be under one branch. The courts. Not Dave's office or Mike's, but I believe the courts should be under.
Strange thing.
So
of
I'm not
course.
opposed. I am an unfunded, my office is an unfunded mandate.
And of course, it's always been weird to me how, again, we pay on the district side of
Yes.
things, but we don't pay on the
On the
county
county
side
side.
of things. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yes, and the only employee for the judges is a county employee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Do you get elected if they get it pushed through as new?
Appointed,
You would be appointed by.
You'd be appointed by the state.
right.
And if you left your position, the state would have to hire.
It's a state job.
And the county's still responsible for providing
It'd be
the
like,
office and everything else.
right, my budget would be similar to what Diane's would be at that point. You would not have the personnel piece.
And Commissioner, she does have an open position now,
I do.
because, yeah, we were talking about raising positions.
And I will bet, I will kick and scream if you tell me I can't fill that. Because my office is so small, when we're down one person and somebody's out of the office, it affects us. So I'm trying to get that filled.
You basically have a four-person office.
Yes,
And you're down to 3 now.
I'm down to 3.
Kind of like the veterans office.
it works. Our caseloads are down this year, so I'm not panicked yet. But I hope as soon as Dave gets fully staffed, you know, we need to be ready for that as well.
I don't have a big
Well,
question.
you know, as we go down line item by line item, it doesn't seem like I do either. It's when I look at the bottom line, then that bothers me a little, but part of it is the revenue side. A
Yeah.
substantial portion is the revenue
It's
side.
the, you know, the salary piece, is $20,000 difference. And then it's the revenue piece, which is 53.
Right.
What's your, what's your adjusted number, Lisa?
Tax asking number 308,861, down from original ask 311.
308?
308,861.
Line by line, and I'm not seeing too much. That one sticks out at me a little bit, that social security line. That one, I don't know why, it seems a little out of whack. It's not a lot of money, but does that look right to you, Lisa?
Worst thing is cutting that 50,000 out of the estimated revenue. You know,
Yeah.
that you've never had on any place here before, and it never has came in at 100,000 anyway.
Well,
You just have realistic numbers.
I
That's
do.
the only difference.
I can add it in and we can pretend that
Or
we're
then
gonna
it-
get
Well,
it.
we
yeah.
go back to pretending again.
And you've never got yourself in trouble because of it as far as going in a deficit, the
That's why
way
I
I
say if
see
these,
it.
if we use these actual numbers and percentage on the actuals, they can survive because those are the real numbers. That's what it costs to do business. No different than our business. We know what it costs to do business.
I'm just not a revenue, the judicial, side of things, just, the judicial side of business doesn't make money for the county.
But
Very few
what it
of
does,
them
you accept what revenue it does bring in
Absolutely.
and adjust accordingly. That's what I say, if you take your actual income and your actual expenses over here and put your increase on top of that, you'd still be you'd still be close to budget and you'd be a lot more understanding of what we're doing.
Yeah.
When we vary stuff both directions, hard to find out, figure out where it's at for me.
We don't have a lot of fluff. I don't have a,
Well, you took
Supply
50,000
room.
fluff
I
out
don't-
this year.
I don't have the room for any of that. So
That's right.
we are pretty bare bones as it is.
As far as your question, she did the percentages, we say retirement at 6.75% of salaries and social security at 7.65%. And the difference you're seeing from like actual to the calculation is if one of her employees puts a chunk of money, $500-600, just say, and reduces their adjusted gross income, we get less social security. So she could take prior year number and just bump it up. We'll go with the 7.65%. Kind of a
It doesn't matter to me as far as that goes, yeah.
calculation to predict.
It just, in percentages, it doesn't look, but the HSA would cause you to.
You don't
Have
have
that.
a lot of room to do a whole lot of things here. It is, there's some guesswork going into some of it.
My supply budget, I'll tell you, the file folders are my largest. File folders and toner cost the most.
But you need that, that's what you have to have in order to operate your office.
Yes.
Where's your toner now? 'Cause you have a copier, do you have another separate printer? In your office?
I have one, the bailiff has one, and each judge has one.
And that all comes from your budget.
Now, say that that's a printer you're talking about,
Yes, printer.
you have one copier,
We have one copier.
you have more printers.
We have printers. Yeah,
Okay,
I have
good.
one, the judges each have one,
Good.
and the bailiff has one.
And that's where try to merge it into one machine, and then part of our contract is paying for that. But, I mean, I guess. Yeah, you still have printers.
And I think Judge Dobroni had to change his printer for the first time in a year, this last time. Yeah, the toner, yeah. Not much, yeah.
I don't have an easy solution to anything here, so.
I don't know what you
I don't
want to
know what-
solve. 'Cause
yeah.
There's not,
I think the percentages is gonna be high because of my
that
revenue.
Yeah.
Side of things. Like I said, we could artificially put it back in.
makes it look good, but it's not there, so it
Yeah,
doesn't.
which might be why we don't see our reserves, because maybe we don't have revenues. And
Then it steals from that.
I'm fine with
I'd
what
say
you've got.
let's leave it where it's at
Yeah.
for now. Get to the end here.
If you run out of money, you just come and ask for more anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, jurors have to be paid. That's the
That's right.
biggest,
This is just a,
Stuff.
this is just a shot in the dark here, so
Yeah.
that's all you're doing.
it is.
All right.
Right.
Appreciate it. So what, we got 2 offices left, is that right?
No, child, we have child.
Leaving before the fight starts.
You have to fight for yourself.
I mean, I can go through this line by line, or you guys can ask me about things. There's a couple of things I do want to point out. The Deputy 2's salary, when we made the budget, I had line on a guy, I thought I had him hooked. He slipped the hook, went to work for Legal Aid down in Omaha. So that one is now open. That amount was what we paid Jesse Myers as the second in command, I guess is the best way to put it, because she was never actually designated a chief deputy, although we're looking at that still too. So what happens then is that salary is no longer, I mean, I'd like to budget for it, but if we could drop it down to 70,000 or what we started Brent at.
depends on how soon you think you might get someone.
Well, and that's the other question, right, and that's the other question. So that's a chunk that you can look at to work the
How many
numbers.
attorneys are you down now?
What's that?
How many attorneys are you down?
Just one, just the one, yeah. We just notified the county court 3 months ago that we'd start taking misdemeanors again. And our misdemeanor load is picked up. I think our court, I think what Darla was saying is true. I think our count is down from last year. So we're not handling as many cases. I don't want to mislead you. We still have 200 active cases in my office right now. And we're doing preliminaries for, I think, 9 between today and tomorrow. So we're still picking them up. We're still getting the customers, but we're not seeing as many cases as we had last year at this time. The other thing, of course, it's always the issue in our office is travel. I've been talking with my attorneys because that's obviously the biggest piece of that is the CLE stuff. We've been getting very creative. Lauren Newell just had an opportunity to go to Ireland with her husband through the cost of the college. And when she told me what the program was, we contacted the Nebraska CLE folks and talked to them, and they said, yeah, you get credit for a lot of that. So she's going to get most of her credits based on that travel she did at the cost of WNCC. It's not going to cost us anything. That's the good news. The other thing I've told them is rather than everybody going on a high-end conference once a year, we'll probably do it every other year, or we're going to divide it up. I am taking a conference in November that's out of state on fairly high-end assault type and violent crimes. But we're trying to rotate that more as we can. Brent Hansen, we're sending him down to the boot camp this year in Lincoln. So that won't cost us a whole lot. He actually goes down there this week. That's part of that NCDAA conference I told you guys about when we presented last summer. It's a great one for one time, but after that, you're kind of stuck. There's nothing new that happens at that conference that is beneficial to somebody who's been in practice for a while.
And just so you know, that's the rumor out there is that you guys don't take advantage of the state conferences.
I appreciate the rumor. If they want to send me what they got, I'm happy to look. I don't think I should be spending the county money on estate planning. That's not what my guys do. And we don't do a lot of criminal defense programs. The organization doesn't because there's only 13 public defenders statewide. So it's not cost effective to do those seminars. The boot camp is great because it catches all the new kids out of school, all the new public offenders, and it's fantastic. But again, it's a one-time shot. You've been there, you've done that. You don't need to go back.
So there's only 13 in the state because the other ones are so small that they just hired them.
Yeah, well, Tom Riley's in
Unneeded.
Omaha. You know, he's got his staff, and then you've got Christy Eggers in Lincoln. She has a fairly large staff. The rest of us have a staff about like I've got, 4 to 5 to 6. Grand Island might have more than that, but
But then all the other counties just hire
Contracted.
private.
Yeah, they contract it out.
With
Yep.
private, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I was talking with the judge in the back, and he and I are thinking that if we get together with Dave, and the county judges and look at the library expense together, we might be able to cut that library expense down.
I would think if you guys could use one set of,
Yeah.
set
Yeah.
up one computer, or however you gotta do it.
Well, he's got, so apparently, because that's what I asked him, I said, do you guys have a different thing through the state? He said, yes. And I said, well, that seems odd. Because I know that Dave and I use the same system. And I think it's mostly budgeted in my budget. And then Dave puts some of his budget in that. I don't remember how that works. But there's something, but the law library costs, we're fighting with Thomson Reuters still, because they still send us these pocket parts for these books, and we're like, we don't want them. We don't have anywhere to put them. We don't need them anymore. We're not seeing a bill for them, so I'm not complaining, but it's just a waste of effort and time. So anyway, the judge and I are going to get together and see if we can put together a meeting to talk about the library expense, see if we can figure out a way to make that cheaper. I mean, everything else, as I was looking through it, as everybody else was talking, a lot of it's fixed. I mean, it's stuff that we spend every year, and there's a couple of numbers in there. I think that I agree with Mr. Isaac that we're using some pretend numbers instead of some hard numbers, but I think what was the one I was looking at?
Sure.
Sheriff fees, like today, I had to send a sheriff out to issue a subpoena on a kid to testify in the county court. so some years we have those costs and other years we don't. And part of that is whether Dave subpoenas certain witnesses or not. So you'll have a case where there's 10 witnesses and Dave may only need 6 of them, but I need the other 4. So in those 4, I will have sheriff fees for those 4 folks.
You think you're putting it under other, billing it to another line? Hasn't had cost in that line for.
I don't think so, Lisa. We don't do it that often. In fact, I think this is the 3rd time I've issued a subpoena in the year I've been here. So that might be high. I mean, we'll drop it down. Because like we used almost $500. We used almost 500 as of June 1st. And then in year before we used 3849. So I mean, it just varies.
Yeah, that's what I'm not seeing it at all. You haven't had any.
I can check Carol on that, yeah.
Yeah, that's, she
You don't
probably,
have any means of revenue at all in yours.
No, unfortunately, we get no revenue in my office. We're all, what we save the county is in private attorney fees. And in the 200 cases I have right now, I was just looking at that, just give them $100 a piece. 1 hour is gonna cost you 20 grand. And we're absorbing that cost now. Take our salaries and stuff, figure that out, but we save the county a considerable amount of money.
Yeah,
when the county court and the district court was talking about court-appointed fees, he takes those cases. And sometimes they,
We have a conflict.
they
Yeah,
have-
well, I'll give you a great example. We spent a bunch of money on a case recently. I'd actually sent Helen Winston out to Washington to do depositions. I met the AG out there. We were doing depositions on this case. Get back, she gets another case. She reads the pre-sentence investigation on this particular client, and that client is mentioned in the pre-sentence investigation. And we went, oh no, what do we do now? And we actually called the counsel for discipline's office on that one. And they agreed that we needed to get out of it. So that case is now with the commission. But we've expended a lot of time and money in that case, and then all of a sudden come to find out, and none of us could have done anything about it. It was just a complete.
You can't summon those people out here for witnesses or anything?
Not for pre-trial stuff. For trial stuff we can, but then you pay to bring all them here. So it's the pre-trial stuff that
Don't we have a
costs.
public defender out there that can work with us to take some of those?
Typically, no, because
Information.
it's the conflict issues that arise and the confidentiality stuff that goes on. By the way, I've never publicly gotten a chance to tell everybody what I thought of the recall thing started on Dave. That was nonsense. I mean, it was an accident. There was no malintent. There was no. We were asking jurors questions, and had he not asked the question, I was going to ask the question. So one or the other of us was going to cause that kind of pain and embarrassment, and it was not intentional, and I thought people really overreacted to that. Now, there's other things I disagree with Dave about, but that is definitely not one of them. And some of that's philosophy on charging certain cases certain ways, and it's not necessarily a discussion I want to have in public. At this point, I wouldn't mind speaking with Dave and you as either individuals or in pairs, so we don't have to worry about the quorum rules, to kind of let you know where those philosophies differ and what we're looking at. But yeah, my office doesn't. It saves us money, but it doesn't make us money.
so as I just glance at these, the, personnel line is 130,000 higher than last year's, but 200,000 more than actual. But I realize that we didn't have the positions full at that time.
Right.
And I'm thinking that's part of what's
And I just made
happening,
some adjustments on him, just so you know,
okay?
because he talked about that deputy salary too. We don't have that person, I dropped him in half.
That's fine. Yeah.
Dropped, and, what else? Health premiums because you have 7 employees times 12,000. At 6 months, like dropped from 96 to 90. And dropped your retirement, and your social security based on my change in salaries. So now I'm down
Yeah.
to 707. Has hired a person on, when did, Brent came on, May.
Right.
So that'll be a lot of why it's much lower last year, because he just added a person who was on pay 1 month previous.
Yeah, and when Helen came on board, I mean, it was like, I think there was a 1 week overlap between Jess and Helen. That was it. It was pretty short. Then we were at 3 until we picked up Brent in May.
So part of what makes this look bigger, and it is bigger, but is because previous years, we haven't had the positions full.
Correct.
And now we're trying to budget, not even for full, you already said you're at half on one position. But that's what's
You know,
kicking
and
that line item up.
right. I mean, Dave will confirm this too. It is just harder and harder to recruit people.
Well, and I think
Out here.
we'll be talking about the same stuff with his budget when we get to it, I think.
Right. Any answer any other
No.
questions?
I think they've been talking a lot about the travel and stuff, and I think you brought it up. But maybe every other year rather than every year. for
Right,
some of the
that's what
conferences.
we're looking for, yeah. One of the other things we did last year, when we got to the end of the year, we realized that the 3 of us were short ethics credits. So I called down to MCLE and I said, hey, can I sign up for this one, but get credit for all 3 of us if we all watch it, because it's a web deal? And I may have pulled in a couple of favors, and they said, sure, we'll let you do that. Now, we had a little bit of a hiccup with Lawrence, we finally got it fixed. But I'm looking at trying to come up with a actual agreement with the Bar Association, so on some of those ethics courses, we can do that, we'll do it by web, and we'll just stay here, it won't cost anything other than one person's registration.
You use CLE, what does that stand for?
Continuing legal education,
Legal.
and it's mandated by the Supreme Court.
So like continuing education for other places.
You have to do that.
You have to have 10 hours a year, and 2 of those hours have to be ethics hours,
So every year you.
every year.
Office equipment and furniture.
Kind of like real estate.
What do I got on that?
Kind of like real estate.
Probably just to hold a place. I don't think we need either,
9 hours.
to be totally honest with you.
Saying 10. So.
Drop them down or
Sure, that's fine, yep.
down.
Let's drop them down.
I know, that's one of the reasons.
We've got, you've seen the conference room, it's all put together now, and nobody needs furniture, so I think we're fine. But I needed to replace one chair just 3 weeks ago, so
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Where'd you get it?
I think Staples.
Yeah, did you see that private chairs that I saw from SWBC?
And where, oh, STBC.
Yeah, the,
Well, tell me who to check with, I'll check with.
say, give me a list, I'm gonna try to get 25 bucks.
Okay, all right.
I don't know how great, maybe, just plain old. chairs.
Okay.
But you were gonna look into the county law library?
Yeah, with the
these guys?
judge and, yeah, and that's a surprise for Dave, he didn't know the judge and I were talking about that.
Oh, okay, well, and it seemed like you used to all run through public defender until it wasn't right, and then. And you don't use the same stuff.
Oh, no, we do, yeah, we do. Right, correct. And that's the stuff that he has, that I don't have access to. And then I have Defender data and a couple other things that we have that he doesn't have access to.
And if there's any way we can merge those contracts. A good thing.
Yeah. And Westlaw would be the biggest piece, so.
Sooner the better.
Bam. Anything else?
All right,
I don't-
commissioners, we carved out 67,000.
So that bottom number now is 803.
253. Unless we can put your travel and your lodging and stuff, that can be, at least on the line of what you did.
Right.
I think we need to talk about that a little more. There was a topic about some travel that had to take place for us to receive the training we needed, and then we found out later that the training was available here in Nebraska. Probably October, November timeline last year.
Training was-
I'm drawing a blank. But I think it was your trip out to the West Coast. Chicago.
Well, I haven't made any trips yet, so.
In this last year.
I went to the boot camp last year. That's the only thing I did. Cause I was still fairly new, yeah. I think Paul and Justin were going. Justin was supposed to go to Seattle, and then he told me he was going to South Dakota, so he ended up not going. I don't know if Justin and Paul went somewhere.
They went
Before.
to Chicago or something. I, that's the first time I've heard of it. Obviously, you've taken Denver.
Depends on it depends on the cost for me and what the content is. Cause sometimes it's actually cheaper to go to Seattle than it is to Denver. It just depends.
But if you're watching it every other year, or something, even your.
Yeah, for the big
paralegal,
trips,
Even
yep.
your paralegal.
Well, yeah. That it? Okay, thank you.
Can we do probation next? I think that'll go pretty fast. Looks to me like.
Okay.
That'll be a pretty,
Yeah.
quick,
I didn't
pretty
give
fast,
him the version,
be a cakewalk.
and I don't think I ever got it, so I think I made it.
You did. So my budget, in the last 3 years has I've cut about 70,000 from mine.
But it's all grant funded by the state.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
yes, for the most part, the only thing that isn't grant funded is my salary and like our phones, our copier. Everything else I run under my grant. My supplies go through Dave, but we use I've cut our supplies to very minimum. And a lot of times I just buy my own.
You don't have a copy of this.
That's what I wondered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep looking and
How come you can't run it?
We run Isabel's salary through the grant. Mine is not because I'm not 100% diversion. Like I still do county attorney stuff like payroll and different
They won't let
things.
you do half your budget at all, or half your salary?
They've talked about it, but so far they haven't.
Start throwing me some numbers.
Tammy, you made a comment when you just started that sometimes you just buy your own.
Yeah. My office to have the things I need, and we can't have that through the budget. So I don't mind.
Your
I
state
do.
grant, 115,900? Is that true?
Yes, well, it was 126 last year. They have now cut it down to, this year's budget is 97,000. But I also have saved, I'm gonna turn back to the grant committee about $40,000. that I haven't used.
That's where, like, if it's a grant, we want to use it to the extent, don't we?
Why wouldn't
Well,
you, let me ask you a question. Why wouldn't you use that grant money first and turn back the county money back to the county?
because those are things that the county, that the grant will not cover. They won't cover my supplies, they won't cover my, like, my phone, my office space, and my salary.
So
You
one of
use
these-
it for everything that you can, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There for what? What's the money to be used for?
Anything juvenile related, education, incentives, food,
Okay.
operating, they will pay for postage. So I do all my postage through the grant.
Good.
We have terminated our subcontract with Panhandle Partnership, so we won't have that this year. But everything else, I run anything I can through the grant.
Good girl.
So, and that's what I mean when I say, like, we have reduced about $70,000 since I came. That's not going through the county.
A little bit over that. Take a lot.
What'd you put for a rate of salary?
My salary is, it should be around 47,000.
I meant for the juvenile aid.
Oh, and that's the only salary, because the grant covers everything else, so it should be close to that 61 that was last year.
79, 71.
No, the 61,490.
Doesn't show anything
You
here.
have this written down.
I haven't done that.
Because you did it from last year. Oh. But I listed, anyway, we'll have to get this
Okay,
together.
okay.
If you're wanting my spreadsheets.
So mine should go down again this year, Lisa,
Your
my budget. So from the 61,009 or 490 from last year, it should go down even more than that.
So-
You're talking that's total?
Yes. Well, actually, the whole total is the 76,608, yes. Sorry. And so, yes, that should go down from there.
You had a 97,000.
Right, right. So in 2021, we had 136,449. Last year, we were down to 76,608, and it should reduce a little bit still this year.
And we're,
That's not a good thing.
are we saying that, all of this is not tax asking money, right?
It goes through Dave's, budget though.
it
But
comes
like,
from the
we won't
state.
have any furniture. I've bought my own furniture. We won't have any expenditures, carpet, nothing.
What goes through Dave's budget? Just your salary?
Right, right,
Okay, just your
Yes.
salary, and he should have that.
right.
Yours.
But my supplies go through Dave's budget.
Why, you can run them through the budget, couldn't you?
I
You couldn't
could,
put it
but
in the
we've
grant.
always just went up and got it from Dave's office instead. No, the grant won't pay for supplies.
They won't pay for
No,
paper
no.
or anything?
No,
Okay. But it takes care of your conferences, anything you can run through the grant, I would hope you would. use,
Absolutely.
Pay for yourself, not Dave's budget. 'cause
Yes.
That's his own property tax dollars.
right,
So,
right.
okay. So, yeah,
So,
I mean, you're,
but when you
you're
s-
wanting, we want you to go to the max. You got a grant, let's do this. We don't try to save as much, right?
I know, but even like, right now, we're trying to cut. I mean, I'm just trying to save.
When you say that you're paying it yourself, That's not out of your pocket, that's out of another budget, Terry.
No,
It's out of your own pocket.
yeah,
You're buying furniture out of your pocket?
yeah. It's okay. It was just like some garage sale stuff and I fixed it up and now it looks nice.
Okay.
So it's fine.
Well, if it's
As long as it
something real
couldn't go through your grants.
I mean, when I leave, I'll probably take it with me, so.
Make sure you do.
And I have my own inventory that I've bought, and I have the inventory that is county. So, and I turn that in every year to Pam so that we do know what I've paid for and that kind of stuff. But this program is a program I believe in, and I want it to stay. So that's what I do.
That one kind of right in the guidelines where we need to be. It's less than a 5% increase.
We should have it, I mean, it's not even on your list.
Right.
What is it?
Right,
This
This
is
one.
We don't even have
this.
this.
Give-
No,
This ain't it.
that's different.
that's
Huh?
different. That's not hers.
That's not hers. She doesn't have her numbers.
Okay.
Mine is a juvenile aid.
Oh, well, that's not even, okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you got.
Your
Those
salary's
are-
paid out days on.
Yeah.
Hers is not
Yeah,
tax
everything else is
asking.
grant.
money, so State grant.
State
money
does it. Okay.
For the most part,
And I was confused.
okay? So, other than probation, is the rest of these pretty much Dave's
Yeah, there's three more out, the county tree and.
child support?
You do child support?
But the only real difference this year is in the attorneys. So right now, I'm supposed to have 5 full-time deputies. I've got 2, and I've been doing that for the last 2 or 3 years. And as you can imagine, it got old a long time ago. As Mike said, it's hard to get people to come out here. I mean, it's really hard to recruit. It's hard to even get an interview. And every county attorney's office, it seems from Lincoln all the way out here, is constantly advertising for lawyers that they can't get. I finally got a commitment from a guy, and I've got, not a commitment yet, but I think we're close to getting a commitment from another lawyer. Will give me 4 full-time. I've got the 2 part-time, 1 part-time I'm gonna get rid of, because he does about 10% of a lawyer. The other one is Kirk Philholter, and he's part-time, but he does a lot of work. And I really appreciate it because he comes up from Morrill County and he's here a lot in the office, and he's really doing well. So I'll save some money when I get rid of the 1 part-time, that's $36,000.
Dave, where are you at when you're fully staffed? How many do you have?
I'd have 5 full-time.
But you, 5 full-time is,
Yeah.
that's where you're supposed to be, is that correct?
Yeah.
5, and then you're an additional person.
Right.
6.
And we haven't had that since, 2016, 17.
Prior to COVID.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah, and then when COVID hit, then it just seems like it just went, well, we've been this way, maybe either 2 full-time or 3 full-time. When I need 5. And so it's the last 4 years have just been.
Is that some type of state standard or state requirement, or is that just your?
No, just
That's just your
based on
office.
our number, that's what, when, Masterton was on the board, he approved it for 5 full-time deputies. And that's just based on our caseload. I think I've got 370 open cases right now. The difference is, when the public defender gets conflicted out, or when the judges, for whatever reason, just give DWIs to private counsel, which I don't understand. We would do that because there's no conflict, but they do. And so far this year, I think I've got 65 cases that are private counsel or court-appointed counsel, not with the public defender's office. So that's 65 cases myself so far this year. I'll probably end up doing 100 that their office isn't doing. And that's just me. It's not the other lawyers in my office. They're not going to have as many as I do, but they're going to have something substantially similar or in the ballpark. So that the caseload is, it's
3 full-time lawyers can't do this caseload. We've been doing it for the last 2-3 years.
But 5 is the ideal number to do the case.
5 is the ideal, and, yeah, what we have right now is not sustainable. I've been saying that for 3 or 4 years, but
So if
somehow we managed to get by.
So you get your 4 or 5 people. What's that gonna do to the courts and to clerk of the district court? That's gonna, right? Cause they all say, you're not getting out as much, so we have less work.
I think they've got plenty of work. We're a little bit,
That's what I hear.
we're a little bit down this year as far as our felonies. We normally do, I think, 500-600 felonies. We might be down from that this year. You know, and it really won't pick up that terribly much because we're filing the cases that we got to file. That's not going to change regardless of how many attorneys you have. You're still going to be filing the cases you have to file. It's just that I'm not carrying 370, 380 all at one time. I've got somebody that's doing some of that work, and then I'm not here 7 days a week. The autopsy cost, I'm gonna try to get those down this year. We budgeted for 50,000. We were at 44,000 last year. That's because we lost Dr. Schilke. We've had a forensic pathologist in Scotts Bluff County for 50 years. We lost Dr. Schilke, and then we had to scramble as far as what we're gonna do.
Has anybody filled that position at the hospital
No,
yet?
no.
So, anybody even looking at it?
They've looked. It's the same as getting lawyers out here. It's just, it didn't happen.
So you're going to Omaha with you.
We're going to Omaha. That was a suggestion, and it's worked well. But it's costly. So what we're looking at now is maybe going to the Front Range. The only problem I've heard about going to the Front Range is the doctors down there are reluctant to come out here and testify if we need them. So if I've got a murder trial, I don't want to be fighting with the doctor to get him out of here from the Front Range to get up here. Dr. Schilke was, Pete Schilke was just a prince. I mean, he was available whenever. I don't even know if he charged us for testifying. He charged us for the autopsies, obviously, but I don't even remember getting a charge for him coming in and testifying.
So if you need to testify from Omaha, you don't have any problem getting them coming out.
No, I did one, I had the grand jury because we had somebody who died in custody. So I have to do a grand jury, and we had to do an autopsy on him. That doctor, we had her set up by Zoom because we kind of have a short time frame in order to get the grand jury scheduled and get it done. And trying to get her out here from Omaha, I just thought we can do it by Zoom. As long as we put it up on the big screen in the big courtroom and the jurors can hear it, and then the jurors, if they have questions, she can answer them, which they did have questions and she answered them.
Can't we do the same thing for the people in the Front Range?
No, no.
Why's that?
Because a criminal case, you have the right to confront your accuser. You have the right to have all the witnesses testify live. This is a grand jury, which wasn't actually
There was a difference.
criminal
There was a
prosecution.
difference.
Yeah. So I could use her, and that's all they need to do is determine whether or not a crime has been committed, and if so, who did it, and if they wanted to return a true bill, which means someone has committed a crime. So for that instance, we were able to do that by Zoom. And that was really convenient, and it really worked out pretty well. I like working with her. I think she's really good. She was a delight to work with. I just don't want to pay to have her come out here to testify. On the murder cases, we will have to have her come out if those go to trial. We've got one, the guy who burned his father alive, doused him in gasoline, lit him on fire. That was expensive for the autopsy because you have to do the test to determine the accelerant, and of course you've got a burned body, and it's a lot more difficult. That one's on hold right now because he's at the Lincoln Correctional Center to see if he can get returned to competency, but that'll probably go, my guess is sometime next year.
Hey, Dave.
Who pays for the Lincoln Correctional?
We don't have to.
We don't have to,
No,
okay, cause we
no.
got caught a few years ago. Remember that? We're in strike, but we still. see him, we ended up with an $18,000 bill for some guy sitting in Lincoln way too long. That was right when I started.
Yeah, I don't remember that. We haven't had that problem since. We've had people that have been there for a year and a half to 2 years trying to get competent, and we haven't had any problem with it. Yeah,
Do you,
Russ?
in your opinion, would all the other counties connected with us, would they have money budgeted for, autopsies?
Sure.
What would happen if we would put some of that money toward the hospital to help them bring somebody in, so we wouldn't have all the extra expense?
You'd have to talk to the hospital about
Well, I'm
that.
just saying, it might be something to consider, because we really could use somebody, or all the other counties gotta be struggling just like we are, and it's
Yeah.
a big expense to go to Omaha every time and transport that body out and bring it back for their family service and things.
Yeah, and I don't know how long it'd take them to recruit a forensic pathologist out here. Like I said, we've had one for 50 years until Pete left, and then it's the same thing like recruiting lawyers out here. I mean, hell, I can go a year or more without a damn interview, much less, having somebody that I can actually hire. It's just difficult, recruiting people out here.
Well, the sheriff's talked on this subject several times with us too, and it's,
But it's not just here, it's everywhere.
It's
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
everywhere. I mean, other than getting back into Lincoln and Omaha and maybe Grand Island.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And it's not just the lawyers, but it's almost everybody in here, have difficulty hiring people.
Yeah.
So,
And-
Grand Island doesn't have anything either, or?
No,
So
No.
they're all going to Omaha too.
I think everyone's going to Omaha.
Yeah.
And that's why we're looking at either the Front Range or Rapid City and see if we can do that. Again, the autopsy costs are probably going to be roughly the same, but it's the transportation. Right now, we're working the transport company that we work with the coroner's office in Omaha. When we have a death, we need an autopsy, we call, try to get it scheduled. In the meantime, the body's in the cooler, and once we get that scheduled, then our transport takes the body, drives it down, they do the autopsy, transportation stays overnight, picks up the body, brings it back.
And when he says transport, that's like local funeral.
Yeah.
We have to pay them too to do whatever.
Yeah.
To get for them to get down there.
Well, yeah, yeah. So that's, if we can arrange something either in the Front Range or in Rapid City to cut down on some of that cost, we're looking at it, and I'll try to get that done.
You're saying that part of it's pretty simple, but getting the doctors to come here to testify is difficult?
That's what I've heard with the Front Range. I've heard some people say that. And that's not a problem I want to have, is a doctor doesn't want to. We'll do the autopsy and say, well, we got a trial coming up, next week. What are your conflict dates? All my dates are conflicted. I don't have any time.
so then are you the coroner then for the county?
Yeah.
Your job?
Yeah. We all do it. We all share it as county attorneys or coroners, so we're on duty. We're on call 24 hours a day, not just for law enforcement, but for death cases. And when there's unattended death, we get called out. And then we make the determination from there as to whether or not we need an autopsy or not. I think most everything is the same. Last year, about that's the only difference. Of course, that bumps up the health insurance, the HSA contributions, retirement, and Social Security. Blood tests, we may be able to cut down on those, but I think we've got Scotts Bluff Police Department wants to go to breath test, which would be substantially less. Hopefully we can get them online, get that confirmed and get it done. That's not gonna save a whole lot of money, but it'll obviously save some.
What do you have in your budget now for attorneys, Dave? Two more?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll get rid of one of the part-time. And if I could, if I get two more, I can do it with 4 and Kirk doing part-time. that's close enough to have what I need.
Yeah.
And then I can go another 3 years without pulling my hair out and blowing my brain.
So it looks like personnel costs are about, I'm gonna call it 250,000 more, but apparently you've reduced some of your other costs. And so our actual tax asking is 200,000 more
Yeah.
than what it was last year.
Yeah.
And that's basically the wages for 2
Yeah.
attorneys.
Yeah.
And, yeah, what we've been talking about, like you said, for years.
I can't think of anything else. You guys got any other questions? I guess, you know, and for our office, the continuing education is, we have 2 conferences every year. We have to get 20 hours. That's by state statute. We have to get 20 hours, so there's one in Kearney every year in May, and then in the fall, there is a conference in either Omaha or Lincoln, and that's with the State Bar Association. So sometimes my lawyers will go to that because typically the judges go to that. So on that particular time, there's really no court going on. So I can get lawyers down there, but that's the fall conference. So instead of going just to Kearney, they got to go all the way to Omaha. But yeah, that's all we do. We've never sent anybody out of state, and you know, people can do vacation on their own dime. I'm not sending anybody to Napa or, you know, God knows, or Chicago.
I appreciate that. We've had some discussion on that this year. And if it's in Nebraska, we're not gonna be happy about that.
Yeah, like I said, they do that every single year. There's one in the spring and there's one in the fall. They're both in state.
Those are all required trainings that you gotta have. to get your
Yeah,
20
you don't have to go both of them. You can go to one and get your 20 hours. All the hours that you need. I go, typically the last couple of years, I've gone to both because now I'm on the board of directors for the County Attorneys Association, so I kind of have to show up and be at the fall conference as well. Anything else, guys?
I don't know what it would be.
I don't either. I think
You have 1 or 2, 3 of your attorneys here, and then we'll see an attorney salary and child support budget.
Are we headed to that next? Child support?
Sure. And the reason I do that is I put somebody who's ever making the most underneath me, put them in child support because we get reimbursed a percentage from the federal government for the hours that they put in. And I'm not gonna put Kirk in at his part-time wage of 36,000 because that doesn't make much sense. I'll try to get as much money as possible out of that.
What, is there a little bit in there of yours and then a full-time?
Attorneys, and then he
Yeah.
has 4 employees. Child support. Did we hear something earlier about child support going down or something with fees of some sort? I thought Darla mentioned that, somebody mentioned that.
Yeah, it's just there are not as many child support or paternity cases. You know, I think they're busy over there. I don't know what the accounts for the drop off, because it's easy enough to come in and sign up for child support enforcement, and I think they do a good job on collection. So I have no idea what that's about.
So there's 5 people total there.
Yeah, there's the attorney that I put in there. There's, let's see, Deb, Vicky, Jillian. Who am I missing? Yeah, sorry.
5 total.
I try to go in my head around the office.
And they just rearranged desks and you lost the track.
There you go.
Are they doing emails for their, instead of putting out letters and to reduce postal service? Or do you know?
Yeah, I think they're doing emails when they can. Some of it, obviously has to be by mail.
I know I see they have sheriff fees a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if they file a child support or paternity case, they gotta get service on whoever the defendant is, and the sheriff has to go out and do it. My sheriff's fees aren't nearly as much because typically in every case I prosecute, maybe I've got 3 police officers, 4 police officers, and we just send them a notice and say, hey, we got court this time, be there. So I'm not, whereas I might have to subpoena 5 of them, 5 witnesses, now I'm subpoenaing like 2. The only problem I ran into last year was, on witness fees was I had a drug distribution case and my analyst from the state lab had left, moved to Minneapolis. And once they're no longer employed by the state, I had to pay to fly her from Minneapolis to here, put her up in a hotel, testify, and send her back. And I also had to get my other witness out of prison in Wyoming and get her here. So that was a little bit costly, but we got a conviction on both the.
Do our
counts that we
transport
had.
people help you with that as far as
Yeah.
the detention center stuff?
Yeah, and it's just jumping through hoops.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
No,
And
I
it's
don't
just,
think our people do that for you, do they?
no.
That's what he's asking, it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
detention center for you.
And it's a pain, and then I thought I was done with that analyst on every case, but then another case came up, and I'm just like, God, I don't want to go through this again. So I actually pled that one out, but still got, I think, a couple distribution convictions on it. Which unfortunately it happens. I think the state lab for drug analysts is kind of like every place else. So we've probably lost 3 within the last couple of years, and you got some new ones in there. So every case that has, an analyst that's left, I got to pay to bring them from wherever the hell they've moved. And at $1,800 for one case seems, well, I thought it was worth it. Anyway, anything else, guys?
We'll have to get to the end of this and flip a coin, that's all we got to do.
So part of the revenue, it says incentive payments, child support.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that? How do we get that money?
Files the paperwork, it gets the money.
Yep.
That's when Kelly uses that Maxim contract and they take his expenses and it's marked by that certain revenue per diem and anyway,
Yeah.
it's a grant. I think he files quarterly reports.
Yeah,
Brings
quarterly
us-
reports, but it runs like half a year behind.
Does it?
Yeah. So you file a quarterly report, but you don't get that money until 6 months earlier.
We'll tell her.
Until that comes in. And I'd like to free up Kirk a little bit. He's got a secretary who's just sharp. And I think he can turn some of that over. If he can get the paperwork to her, she can do that. That's Megan. She's just outstanding. I got some really good people in my office. Deb, who's been there when I first started 38 years ago, is still there. And, her and Pam, I don't think the office can function if either one of them left. So I'm really fortunate in that regard.
Very good. I don't know what else to ask you.
All right. All right.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dave.
So, Lisa, were you gonna talk about probation? You gave it.
I thought I'd just give it to you because unless you want me to bring them in, they're asking for an increase for the first time in, I've been.
$3,000, man.
What?
$3,000.
Yeah, well, it's actually a $5,000 increase, but they have a budget that we share with other counties,
Okay.
pay into us. So our tax ask would go up a couple $10,000 for them to ask for more money. And and they spend every dollar we give them, believe me. They've been at 66,000 for probably 10 years. They're asking for a little more. Did I give you their letter? I'm not sure.
No, not that I know.
I didn't give any letters. Right? No.
No.
Oh, they're just
we'll be
moving
fine.
around.
I think we're about to,
Actually,
yeah, he's
Charlie
gonna.
went at 6:13. Are you kidding? I forgot. Yeah, and he mentioned, tell Kelly, and I wrote it down.
Thank you
6:13.
so much. You do a good job when I designate you to help me do this.
I would have forgot. This year's
That's what I
budget
got
has
over
a
there, too.
requested Increase of an additional 5,000. Please note this request is due to the increased costs associated with data processing equipment. I believe you'll see the increase for each county in the district is minimal. After assessing District 12 probation spending in 24-25, along with careful consideration of our needs. The upcoming fiscal year, I believe this year's requested budget is reasonable.
Three, yeah.
Yeah, they,
So our portion would be 3,000 approximately.
yep.
Okay.
The group reimburses us for providing telephones.
I still don't understand this whole thing and, I mean, no more than what this is. Why didn't the state just pay for it?
With that.
No more than what this is, you know, it's a minimal amount, of course, and we provide their facility.
Yes.
But I just don't understand why the state can't pay this portion of it.
Just do this part
Be
on their
done with
own.
it.
Yeah,
All right.
okay, we pay for a building, we pay for office space here. I know I've been asked to calculate, like, if you had to charge them rent, what would it be, you know? A couple $100,000, when you start looking at the square footage of these offices and taking it times $18 per square foot a month and, are they?
They actually get more than what they're paying for.
Was that?
You know, like with Jay going over and working and doing this, all the extra things that he probably wouldn't have to, or we probably wouldn't have to, but you just try to keep peace.
Oh, yeah.
We had that problem when they were over here too. One time they wanted us to buy their computers, all their paper, their printers. Said, no,
Well, you're saying data processing, but we probably are buying some computers out of that.
we weren't supposed to. We had a ruling coming down from, actually from their bosses at the state. The state's bosses, no, you don't have to do that, so we didn't. So evidently something's falling through again.
If that's what it is, cause it's like 17,000 of their budget, they call it data processing, so I'm gonna say it's. And they talk about furniture, so we could bring it back down if you want, I mean, we do give them a lot.
I don't understand the agreement between us and the state and all that.
But
It's
most of
just
it's not an agreement, it's a requirement.
I was gonna say,
That's
they
the
just
problem.
tell us what to do.
Yeah,
what we have to do.
Yeah.
Unlimited mandates, right?
we try to do the minimum.
So,
I'm fine with that.
But it's been the same for 10 years, you said.
I'm saying, I threw out a number at you, but I know since I've been here, it's been 66,485. And boy, I'll tell you, she gets down to the last penny. The gal before her did that too,
As far as using every dime.
every dime. And this year, and we'll make sure it doesn't happen again, I was a little bit upset when I saw they bought file cabinets.
Uh,
And it's like, we got 40 of them out there, and you guys
File
went and
cabinets.
bought filing cabinets. Which, that's another thing we could get through SWBC or the schools too.
Aging office has a bunch of, I'm buying one for $25, 4-door, and they're like new. They're beautiful cabinets.
Exactly.
I'm gonna
That's the
take
kind
one
of
home Thursday after the meeting,
stuff- Really? And that's.
$25.
If the school put theirs out, they had a bunch, and we have 40.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think we still have as much paper. Anyway, what do you guys think?
Well,
Did Russ leave too,
what's that?
or did he just?
Yeah, Russ just left.
For the day?
His daughter's in the hospital.
Wait, she is.
Or she was an emergency, I think. Anyway, he
Well,
was going,
Charlie
So
was
what
six
time did
fifty,
he leave?
right
Just-
after Charlie,
right after Charlie.
so 6:50.
Okay.
I didn't realize he was leaving.
What did I say? You guys have got to let me know that.
He stood there and then but he didn't ever say it.
I thought he was just exercising his,
Yeah. that's
Sick
what
of sitting.
I knew he
They're
was
just
leaving
stretching.
and
Are you gonna go over more talk, or I kind of want to address you guys first?
well, certainly
Is it totally off
Oh.
the subject?
okay.
Anyway,
As part of the, I guess, as part of the meeting, you're saying,
a concern I have with life in the county right now. But I
Okay.
do need to know who to invite tomorrow before we get off budget talks.
Okay.
Who's left?
Well, all of us. The elected, I mean, Kelly and I can tell you, I need to get your numbers and I haven't. been
and
doing
you're not
budgets.
gonna have anything from me, I mean,
Sorry.
different than what we've got.
So how are we supposed to know what to cut? Kelly?
We just gotta figure it out, that part, but I don't know how you wanna handle the others, because, okay, I can say it in front of the group that's here without feeling intimidated. They don't wanna come up here in front of Charlie. How do I handle this?
That's childish.
So see,
I mean, people gotta start being professional.
yes,
You know,
Okay.
I have seen it in this county, and sure, a person may get butthurt, but you still got a job to do.
and they do, they turned in a
And
budget, did they have?
I have never seen anything like this anywhere I've ever been. This is unreal. And it's gotta stop. People need to continue doing their job. And if they don't wanna go up here and present their stuff because he's sitting there, that really reflects poorly on them. They have a job to do.
Okay,
Come up here and do it.
and, 1, 2. So what do you got? 4 more?
Yeah, I say you could have Matt come up. We talked to him.
Mhm.
I mean, he's moved up very little. Although I do have an issue I'll share that we're finding. Charlotte was able to move TCP information into the software. And we started that, he's one of the first ones. He pays those girls 37 and a half hours a week, nothing more, nothing less, and they're working more. So that's gonna be something that's gonna come up. I mean, you gotta pay the person for the time they're here.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if they're working 38 hours and 5 minutes, you pay them 38 hours and 5 minutes, not knock them back down. So we'll be addressing that and using the.
Well, that, and then I asked twice with Tammy, when she's talking about buying stuff out of her pocket. We don't need to do that. I mean, if you wanna buy a plant for your shelf, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah, and she might
But-
have a nice fluffy rug that she likes, but it's like, if you can pay for the grant, you got a grant to do it, do it.
But if you're paying stuff out of your pocket for office supplies or well, she said she bought a chair, or she bought something for the office. That shouldn't have to come out of the employee's pocket. Whatever it has to be. I don't agree with that at all.
And so you don't have to be cutting.
The part that, yeah, things like supplies, and she did say she went to Dave's office and got some.
But she
of her
also said she
supplies.
bought some of the stuff on her own.
Yeah, but she goes to Dave's office and it's like, can your grant cover this?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, don't tell me you're,
And she's new at it. Give her,
Yeah.
give her a chance to,
well, it's
get her
been there a
feet
couple
wet.
of years, yes.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been to her office several times and take the tour and talk to her about what she does. And she's really done an excellent job
She
of
has.
making that facility warm and inviting, and kids will open up more. Because it's not a clinical type office. So she's done a great job, but unfortunately, she's spending some of her own money, which shouldn't happen, but
No,
it
but-
might be some of her personal preference, I mean,
Yeah.
because I want a pretty picture of my wall, does the county have to buy it? Yeah.
yeah, there's some things that she may be doing that the county wouldn't otherwise buy.
they're not necessary things for the office.
and it ain't a
And so
major
that kind of
expense. It's
stuff,
like, say,
if she wants to do, fine.
keep the garage sale on it,
But
Yeah.
fix
she
it
needs
up
to
and
make sure it's hers and not
Exactly.
ours. Okay.
So anyway, getting back to those that don't wanna come up. If if they're not comfortable being here, that's their prerogative, but they're gonna have to take whatever it is that
Whatever
this
budget we
group
set.
decides is gonna do on their budgets.
Right.
They should be here to defend it. I can also understand their reluctance to do it.
The, up until now, we have not seen any of that out of him. With any of the other people that have been here,
No, he's pretty disengaged.
so we haven't seen that. Now, I'm not sure the thing, we're talking with Gene, I'm not sure that's gonna be productive, and so I think that could be something that wouldn't be good for either one.
Right.
And I don't recommend that really. But I do believe that if someone's not coming up here otherwise,
I think the only other one is
we're talking Heather, we're talking, which other offices are we talking?
just those two, really.
Right, those are the
So-
two, right, because, yeah, the rest we've kind of already talked to.
Yes.
We talked to Robert.
Mhm.
Haven't talked
You
to
two
Kelly,
guys
but
have.
I
You
can-
guys have talked to him, he hasn't
Right.
been up here.
No, but, his budget, of course, was down and it's, was pretty easy, but I think we certainly can look at that. We've seen the sheriff, Darla. So I think the primary ones that you're talking about is Heather and Jean.
It is. And if you wanted, or Matt doesn't have a problem that I'm aware of, but.
Right.
Anyway.
Matt's not elected.
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the question would be, is there anyone else that we wanna invite to the meeting for tomorrow, right?
Or do we need to meet tomorrow, or you wanna get it in your head and meet Monday?
Meet Monday and start putting some hard numbers together and
Yeah.
get it finished.
Are you able to still get a meeting set for Monday?
Well, she's got a
I
commission
think we're
meeting.
already scheduled.
We have a regular meeting on Monday, so it'd be after. Don't sound so happy.
I don't know why I wasn't thinking it was this,
Because it's already the middle of August is why.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
We've been, the other one was building and grounds. We didn't get Jay up here. Most of his went, he didn't go up.
and we, yeah,
Well, we
Ken and
talked-
I
we talked- yeah,
talked with him
We
back here
visited with
too,
him already.
and with Bill
Whatever it
Mabel.
is.
Well, you want the elected officials on on the recording is why not everybody has to meet you guys? I mean, like, why
Well-
can't you come talk?
Do that.
No, I'm just asking.
Would you two like me to set that up? Maybe that would be the way to do this, is just meet with them and discuss, because they both look like they went up. And I believe Jean would say it's salary increases, and then Heather, it was, she predicts some revenue for me that goes in general fund, and our interest, we aren't gonna have near the interest, and that was the biggest revenue piece went down.
Why would we not have the interest,
Because we
interest,
don't have two
the
point
savings,
$5 million sitting there in our.
You have to have
funds.
a,
the savings balance?
Yeah, that's the money you make, money we had last year that we don't have now. One piece. She did go up $30,000 in expenses. So I could print those. I'm talking about Heather. And look at them, or as Michael said, whoever, I can call them in for a couple of meetings.
I don't have a problem meeting. I got plenty of time, obviously, so. Trying to find stuff to do.
Is that what you just said?
I
I
guess,
am I'm a Holdridge duster.
Yeah. Jean's at, 50% more, but, her tax asking is only up about 12,000.
and how much percentage?
It's 15.
15?
Of which 11,000 of it, I said 15, right? 11,000 of it is salary. insurance, insurance is the thing, and that is something I was gonna bring up to you all too, just to keep in the back of your mind. I bumped everybody to $1,000 per month per FTE. We could back that back down and see how our year ends up. I mean, if that's what we wanna say. But
And how many full-time eligible again? Did you say we have? For
I
the
think it's
county?
220 or 230. So that would, I mean, it's something that we would save some property tax dollars, but it could come back to be a problem. Okay, so actually 13,000, mostly salaries. Didn't increase too much more than that.
So I'm just, I'm trying to figure out about tomorrow evening.
If we're
we
coming
need
or
to-
not?
Yeah, if we're coming tomorrow evening or not, and also who all would be invited. And again, there, Ken and I met with Bill Maven, Jay, and Robert.
Oh,
Now, you had some other people that met with,
Oh, and Kurt.
Oh,
yeah, Kurt is
He's
one
got some
that we
real
need-
issues this year.
We
Yeah.
need to talk to, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe he could, Russ and I met with him. Yeah, I had some each of the commissioners coming in and.
Yeah, I think, Kurt would be one I think we wanna go over some stuff with. Cause he's gonna have,
What his status is.
yeah, exactly. I mean, he loses funding and who knows what's gonna happen.
We could meet, we talk to him.
I think, in my opinion, we need to meet.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, we need to ask, have him here for sure. And then, is there some other ones that we want here?
I can tell you about relief aid. You know what? Maybe it'll be me.
Some of your
Admin
things that,
general and talk about what bond funds
Tomorrow
doing,
night?
the inheritance.
yeah.
okay,
Let's go through that.
that'd be
stuff.
good.
Let's get Kurt
I think
here
that'd
and
be
I'll
good.
get that stuff together, cause
And then
maybe-
we could meet, somebody mentioned meeting a couple of us with Gene and Heather. We could do that too. Coming up here.
and we can see where they stand. And Kelly and me, we're not comfortable.
Them?
Yeah,
I see them more than my husband.
right now. Get mine updated, cause I. Okay, so I'm like Kurt, and we'll talk about some of the other funds and talk more about how the money's moving around. There's a plethora of other funds we aren't even talking about, which I don't know how important that is, because like Tammy, she comes up here and tells us about how she's spending for a grant. It's like, you aren't gonna spend over the grant amount. And that's kinda how some of the others, the Wheaton grant and the Haida grant, they have X amount of dollars. And we budgeted to spend that, and it's gonna be,
Spend all of it. Get rid of it. You got the money.
we got money coming in us. If we
Yeah.
can do it, let's do it. Homeland Security, same thing.
Why didn't we look at the big sheet today?
We didn't talk about it. I think they
No,
were looking at it.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk
There's
about it
some-
today. I like her little updates.
Yeah,
If I have to sit
I'm
here, I
looking at
like
it
to
right
hear
now.
this stuff.
so so Heather's budget's down, is what that would say,
Well, I'm not gonna tell you
but that's
that.
because of
Is it down?
tax asking may not be though.
Her difference, her tax asking is $218,000.
Yeah, the
It's
overall
actually a lot.
budget's probably down because she has less interest money, but
And I think she.
tax asking is not down.
This is high, not more, it's 9% more,
Now Jean says,
15%, $13,000.
Well, and right quick too, you need to look at my election. Cause I had the special election in March, but that was billable to the school. And we've got a special election coming up September 9th that is not
That's on the county.
That's on us.
And you're thinking about 10 grand for that? Is that what you thought? Was that the number you threw out?
I need to new math. We've got more invoices in just to double check. And then, postage has gone up since March too.
So do you think that's gonna be higher than 10,000?
No, I think I made it.
You think you can do it for about 10? Okay.
Between 10 and 12, I think is what I said.
You don't have to send it to as many people as the school.
Right.
Yeah, you only send it to one district, 300 or 3,100 people or something.
No, it's almost 5,000 people in this district.
Oh, the 31 was the one that voted. That's what that came from. 3,700.
I know another one too here, and that's bites.
Oh, okay, let me see. I can tell you a little bit about
I'm seeing the numbers here, but
And that's with, I kind of
100,000 more.
thought the biggest jump with them is we need a phone system. They talked about it last year, and I said no. If we don't use capital improvement funds to fund another road project, maybe we could do the phone system there.
Yeah, they were here last year, and it was interesting what they were talking about. It was a real eye opener as to what's going on. I agree with you, Mark. I think that they should come in.
I think they should be here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, they're,
I forgot all about bites.
yeah, me too. Until I
And that's a
get
big
it.
chunk of the budget. Total budget.
Okay. Do we have a plan then?
Bites, Kurt, tomorrow, and then your stuff, Lisa?
Yeah.
That'd be enough?
Yeah,
What
I
about
think that-
galleys?
I think that- what?
Yeah.
No, she's gonna do general budget stuff, not our office budgets. We have to work together on our office
Yours ought to be
budgets.
simple, shouldn't it, Kelly?
Why is that?
Well, I'm just assuming that yours is gonna be your, wage, yeah, thing with Charlotte is gonna change. some stuff.
Oh, yeah, that.
Gotta move
All right,
Charlotte.
so it's not quite so simple. Well, anyway, Kurt, bites, and the stuff, your stuff that you're talking about.
We can talk about that.
Right. And
Okay.
then, I'm still thinking that, so Monday night, we've gotta do the rest of it, the way I see it.
That'd be nice, and I'll get you some dates. Hey,
And-
guys,
And it's not, that isn't gonna be easy.
it's gonna,
That-
it's gonna suck.
It's gonna be a bad situation. It's, I don't know what we're doing. I really don't know the answer
Okay,
to
we
them at
already have
this
a meeting
point.
on the 26th,
And I was gonna tell
and
you.
the
Chuck,
29th is an absolute no. For me.
Yeah, I say, I gotta set budget and all that stuff.
Right.
That'll come in September, but I wanted to make sure they do 22nd or 23rd. It's joint public hearing.
Have you heard back from Gary?
I have not.
Except-
We're struggling for a location, right? Struggling a little. The last year we went to Mitchell Schools and they said their venue was booked. And they were concerned about the fact that some people had mobility issues because if you recall, you come in and then you go.
Scotts Bluff Schools, Gearing
They
Schools.
say no, they say no. Gearing's auditorium is under renovation. That's not open to us. Pat Heath was going to see if the Civic Center would give us a room. I said, we aren't interested in paying for a room, but can you give us a room? He hasn't got back to me. I need to check on that.
Well,
Other than,
and then that could be a matter of they've got it booked for an event too already. Who knows?
SWBC, I don't know if they
Should
have
we
a
do it
room big
here?
enough.
Well, the thing is, we can hold 90 to 95 people here.
Yeah.
And we had 117 in attendance last year, so that's my only concern about that.
The college, we did the college.
yeah, we can
I would love to go to the college again. That was
Yeah,
nice.
I thought that worked good.
see. If we can
Judy
Well,
Chalupa
you've always
Little
got-
Theater.
The other one is the,
Sorry.
extension office.
Yeah.
You know, they've got that,
Oh,
audit-
yeah.
they've got that auditorium.
That might not be bad, as long
It's-
as they
it's
can
not
do a
bad.
PowerPoint, the Panhandle extension.
It's
and
all
that's
on
part
one,
of us.
it's all on one level. There's no stairs.
Good idea.
I'll put Jackie Newsom.
Yeah,
Really?
that is a really good idea.
No, it is good, I hadn't thought about that one.
Okay, back
And,
to your September stuff.
the 23rd is our drop dead, we have to have it
By then.
23rd or sooner. And I I know City of Gearing's already said 23rd they'll be out of town, Pat, Ethan, whatever, if we care. They're saying they're not gonna probably be participating.
So again, I'm not
Unless we do
available from the
22nd.
10th to the 17th of September,
What?
the 10th to the 17th.
What about it?
I'm not
He's
available.
not there. But we're talking, we go as late as possible so the pink postcards can get to their people. So it's 22nd or 23rd. Like that too, and that might, maybe that'll make a difference on the Panhandle extensions available.
Well, that's the other thing. By statute, I have to let Robert know when and where we're having it by September. But that's a deadline to all the entities to get stuff too.
Let's try that.
How's that for overlap?
So yeah, college and, the
Extension.
Or put Jack
extension
Booth and
station.
see if you can get it for us.
Those
That's
are
what I
both
just said, yeah.
good
I'll see
places.
Jack can get it.
The,
And what about ESU? Did we?
They have a big
ESU,
conference room.
ESU has a big room.
do they?
They have a really big, yeah, we've had some,
Regional
we have
governance
some
there.
regional
Keep it up.
governance out there, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember that room being that big. Maybe it is.
Yeah,
Bigger
I,
than this, and
Jay,
it's wide
Jay,
open.
yeah.
Well, they had
Jay said
petitioned off
92.
part of it when we were out there.
I see.
They had that little kitchen area off to that side, and then there was a petition running on the other, and there were seats on the other side that we didn't use.
Labor Day's on, of course, the first, and so our meeting will be the second, I'm assuming.
Yes. Have to have a couple of special budget hearings, one right after joint public.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah,
busy times.
this, July, August, and into September is
It's
busy.
Yeah, I'm sure glad you guys got through protests because you get all this budget stuff.
Yeah.
I've got 6 SID elections. I've got a special
Like,
election.
Alright.
I'm coming up on time to start looking for poll workers for the primary in 2026.
Yeah. It's coming up soon.
Get letters to all the poly subs to see who's up for election.
To the what?
Up for election? What offices are up for election?
She called them the poly subs.
Political subdivision, sorry.
Or you fooled me too, I had no idea what you were talking
I call
about.
them that for levies too.
Poly subs.
Political subdivision.
Alright, so do we need to talk about anything else?
Well,
Still
I
coming
had
tomorrow.
another topic, but you can go
Go
on.
ahead. Let's do it while we're here.
Off, yeah, but we're gonna go off,
Well, somebody's gonna leave then.
well,
Well,
technically,
who, you?
No, we can,
no.
Just
You talk
talk.
about
One of you.
It
Just-
won't take long.
just talk, you're fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna, so, you say just do it now, you're saying, okay, I guess.
Yeah, we're already in session, if you,
My,
She's-
no, well, this is kind of personal, it's not personal to me, but part of the rant that's going on with Charlie and whatever he posted today, however that is, involves my coworker and is mentally and messing her up. I think it's unfair. I wish she would stop. He's totally attacking, I mean, I don't know about attacking Kim, but she's taking everything very personal. And why wouldn't she? Because he's calling her out for doing something that was totally wrong because she was working with Kim. And I wish somebody, I don't know, do I need to just address it in a public session that he needs to knock it off?
You know, I have no idea what you're talking about, of
No?
course,
I have
so,
no idea.
You really? Well, oh, good, then he's not been ranting on her about to you guys. Because that was some of our concern. She's worried that you all are thinking less of her because he's saying bad things about her.
and this is
I
online
actually
or
haven't
something.
This is
heard or
on-
read anything the whole time. I don't,
Everybody else. Well, that was part of that auditor of public accounts, that her daughter right in that. She earned $744 last year for working in Brenda's group. She wasn't doing anything wrong. She's being paid minimum wage, probably given more than she's receiving.
did we get anything back with that after the?
They've not reported back to us at all. They asked us for a little more information.
Is that right?
I'm waiting for more information to be requested from them. Treasurer is going to be probably asked for some stuff, but I don't know. Anyway, in his, today, he's got a website of why he shouldn't be removed, okay? And have you guys seen that?
can pull it up.
Maybe we should maybe we should look at it this evening and,
On your own.
right.
I was gonna
It's
say,
on the
maybe-
KNB
maybe this-
website.
Maybe seriously, this, if one of you guys, let's adjourn and one of you guys go home.
Well, I think maybe because
This is,
I think
this is getting
It's probably-
awkward for me. I mean,
this is still on the recorder and.
yeah, and it's
if
gonna be
somebody
on
asks for it, then-
everything, and
Right. I
somebody
think
needs
it's
to
probably
leave
not
with
good.
me and catch up with
Right.
Lisa about it.
Yeah.
Do you think? That's what I wanted.
Well, and I.
Yeah, I
have
really
no
do.
problem, leaving and then you and I can talk tomorrow.
So are we
But
adjourned?
these guys, I think we should.
Okay,
Well, Kendra's
You
already
okay?
aware.
I got 6:45. I'm gonna go
Meeting's
shut off our
adjourned.
stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you're right.